Good evening, everyone. How's everybody doing? Welcome back to Daughters of the King. We're still on our teaching about war on gender. This topic is super big where I don't even know if I'm going to be able to share every week the new things that are coming up because it's like nonstop. I have a message for this week, and I want to come to you all from a spiritual perspective in regards to the war on gender. But I want to share something with you really quick. Macy Gray recently came out. She is an older artist that came out years ago. I remember listening to her when I was probably about 17, 18 years old. Okay, I'm 43 now, so that's how long it's been. But she recently came out, and she was, to me, she was always a weird person. Her voice seemed different. I think she had liked different things than what I liked. Like she was just, her whole nature, her whole creature being type was different for me. But nonetheless, she made a hit song, and I can't remember what that song was. But everybody loved the song. So make a long story short, I didn't really follow her, but she recently came out to say that she does not believe in transgenderism, so to speak. So apparently she's a true feminist, but she is a feminist that is identified as a TERF. A TERF is considered to be a person who is transphobic to transgender. So she made a statement, and she says she doesn't believe that it's right for men to claim that they're women when they really are not. And so she got hit really hard. Like she was considered, by that statement, she was considered to be violent to the transgender community. This is so bizarre. Because if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if she pulled the statement back, but she received so much backlash that she felt embarrassed, and she didn't really want to continue to speak about it. People are going to be persecuted for the truth. People are going to be persecuted for the truth. Her statements was a bit mixed. It was a mixture. It was almost like she could agree with everything except for, she could even agree with transgender sports. But she couldn't agree with a male that was considered a woman. It was the weirdest thing. So make a long story short, people are going to be persecuted for the truth, and they're going to be deemed a terrorist or violent due to them trying to push, when I say them, the government, the people. And to be honest with y'all, it seems like the community is growing, but I have realized over the past week that it really is a small community, but they have like the biggest voices right now. So that's why, to me, it kind of seems like the world is being taken over by perversion, which it is. But in this area, it's a smaller group of people that is raising Cain in regards to this transgender LGBTQ lifestyle. They just have very loud voices. And I thought, wow, okay. This is interesting. So, I told you all that God is trying to touch the community of the LGBTQ, of the different things that are coming out with the transgender movement. And a lot of people are coming out of that lifestyle right now, giving their testimonies. But there still is, to me, a spiritual warfare perspective, because many people are not taught about what happens when demonic activity can take over your body and oppress your body. So I want to read an article, and I'm not going to be able to read the whole thing. I'm going to read and give you some insight on these parts that I'm going to, read to you, to give you an understanding that this really is, overall, in my opinion, a spiritual warfare type thing. I do believe that there is a small portion of health, a mental health issue, but I also believe that it's more of the enemy that's trying to trick people to believe something that they are not. So let's go here. Let's go to this article. It's titled "Gender When the Body and Brain Disagree." Now, this is written by Amanda Lee Mascarelli. And there's a picture that goes with this article. And the picture shows a body, an outline of a body, and it has a maze that goes all through the body. The face or the head of the body has a little girl that looks like she's lost. So what this picture is trying to relay is, this picture is trying to say that there's this male body, and in the mind, this little girl or this boy is thinking that he's a girl, and the girl in the body has to go through the maze to figure out where she can be free. Okay, this is honestly what this is. So under the picture, it says transgender people often feel they are trapped in a body that does not match the identity that their brain knows them to be. For some of these people, getting others to see them as they see themselves can involve navigating, here's that maze, a confusing maze that may begin as early as toddlerhood. I want y'all to think about the brain. I think last week I was telling y'all that the mind is dangerous, okay? Here's what people don't understand. Me coming from a deliverance ministry, still in a deliverance ministry, I have been blessed to see spirits cast out of people. I have been blessed to have received deliverance privately, because as a child, the enemy got in, and I'm not ashamed to tell you, the enemy got in. The majority of people need deliverance because they just don't understand the little hidden doors, the little secrecies that the enemy has placed upon people's lives, and how it really redirects your true core personality. So I was blessed to have received several deliverances in order for me to be set free. And honestly, the devil attacks your mind, and he comes with all kinds of tools in the spirit. You are only aware of this as God reveals it to you or to the deliverance minister. Okay. There's gadgets. There's certain things that the enemy comes in the spirit. Remember, this is a spiritual battle, to bind you up, to keep you bound. And a lot of these things, the enemy can hide in the mind. He can create a whole world. I'm talking about fortresses, kingdoms, just like it is in the natural. He can create a whole world on the inside of a being. And that person can think things they don't necessarily want to think. They can see things that they don't want to see and they don't understand. How many of you have sat there and stared off into space and had a vision about something that you know you shouldn't have a vision about? And it's like, where did that come from? That mind. I'm being so serious. I'm being so serious. This is as real as it gets. You will be shocked about how much work the enemy puts towards keeping you bound. You will be shocked because you know why? Just like this person wrote, said that it starts as early as in the toddlerhood, or as toddlerhood. The enemy comes very early to insert himself into a person's vessel. A little baby. Babies are so sweet and pure and innocent. But some of these babies come out, depending on the parents or the bloodline of that child, some of these babies come out to be dark. This is what I'm talking about as far as generational curses. Hereditary type stuff that the enemy places on a person's life, and it's a shame because they didn't ask for it. They did not ask for it. I remember being in a deliverance session where God revealed that the grandmother of a person dedicated that person's life to Satan while that child was young. So that child somehow came into agreement in ignorance, not knowing anything, and then the enemy was able to come in and use that person's vessel at any time because the agreement was made. So here's the legal bond, and somebody was praying to Satan that person was going to be the next person to take over her position. She was a witch. So therefore, she was dabbling in the darkness, and she believed that Satan was who he was. And unfortunately, you have a sweet little innocent child that now is being used for the enemy, and they have no idea. This is why I love my Father in heaven, because God understands. This is why the grace of God is sufficient, because if a vessel has no idea, unless God reveals it, why they are the way that they are, they can't be held accountable for it. But when God starts to reveal privately or reveal to someone else that you're messed up, now you should be like, oh, let me consider what I'm hearing for my own self. Let me consider what this voice over here, a person who saw the evil, let me consider what they're saying, because maybe I am just a little messed up. So this is the spiritual warfare. I'm telling y'all, if any of y'all want a deliverance, if y'all really believe, and I don't care if you are a Christian or not, many people believe Christians don't have demons, and that's a lie from the pit of hell. I want y'all to understand this. If you are a Christian and you love the Lord and you still have bad habits, you still have things that you know aren't right, and you feel condemned and you feel like you're never going to be broke free from whatever you are struggling with, it is the enemy. He brings condemnation, and he's the one who brought it to you. God is not holding you accountable for that, but God does want to set you free. And it's no shame if you love the Lord. I love the Lord with all my heart. And the enemy still had me because I needed to get delivered from certain things that I wasn't aware of. It didn't change the love of God that he had for me, or that he has for me. I'm telling y'all, don't be ashamed. If y'all need a deliverance, call our church. Email something, because y'all need to get set free. It's y'all, you come out feeling so light. Oh my God. And then you're like, what? I'm telling you, this is as real as it gets. The Spirit of God is truth, right? The Spirit of God is not going to lie to you. And I'm going to tell you how you know that deliverance minister is right on point. Because when God reveals to that deliverance minister exactly what takes place, that spirit on the inside of you manifests. It moves in your vessel. It can move in your face, your eyes, your ears, your back, your arms. It can, wherever that thing, and it can be in the mind where you don't even know, but God is saying it's in the mind, and that thing, then your whole body can just, I'm telling y'all, and it's nothing for you to be afraid of. It really isn't. Because God wants to set his people free. Y'all call the church. I'm dead serious. Call the church and get yourself set free. Nobody has to know anything, because it's between you and God. Don't be ashamed. Don't ever be ashamed to be set free. That is what God's heart is towards his people, setting them free. So, going back to this article, Amanda wrote in November. It is about a story, okay? It's about a story of a little boy who felt like they were never really a boy. Let me go there. In November of 2014, Zoe McGregor, I don't know how to say last name, celebrated her 13th birthday. Like any teen might, she invited a friend to her house for a sleepover. They ordered pizza and brownies and ice cream for dessert, then watched a movie. The Seattle natives' journey to begin a teen The Seattle natives' journey to becoming a teen had been very different from that of many of her friends, however. Until she was 9, the girl had lived as Ian, a boy. But by spring 2011, Zoe recalls, I was starting to feel more and more like I was not quite boy, but sort of both. Eventually, it hit Zoe that she was neither a boy nor a hybrid. A hybrid is supposed to be a person that feels like they have a female personality and a man personality. But it says she came to the conclusion that she was neither boy nor hybrid of two genders. No, she realized, I'm a girl. Now, this is a boy, Ian, who he was birthed as a boy. And then he realized that in his mind and how he felt on the inside, he was a girl. Now, 1 week, I skipped something. Doctors refer to people who feel that they belong to the opposite sex from the one they were assigned at birth as transgender individuals. The term comes from the Latin word where trans means on the far side. How interesting is that? On the far side. I have never knew that until I read this article, and I said, that is very interesting. So, 1 week before the end of 3rd grade, Zoe announced her social transition at school. In this case, transition described the start of a process to make outward signs of gender match one's inner identity. For transgender children and youth, the social transition usually involves changing one's name, hairstyle, and choice of clothes. Now, I'm going to tell you, this article was written a few years back. Now, it's children that are actually going through the hormonal changes. And they are cutting off these young female girls' breasts so that they can identify as a boy. These hormone pills are real, but there's complication with these things as time goes on. And the doctors are not going to share that with these kids or parents. I don't even understand why the parents are in agreement with this. However, some people just don't know, and they think that they're doing the best for their children. And unfortunately, they go in the route that you're going to hear the mom go with Zoe, who goes by Zoe now. But they don't know any better, and it's unfortunate because this is how the children are getting lost, because the parents don't know right from wrong, and they're thinking, I just want my child to be happy. Sometimes that child has to walk some things out, and it does hurt your heart to see your child struggle. Think about God being the father. It tears God apart to see his child struggle. For one, because he knows the truth. And to see that child struggles, that he loves, he's just like, just all you got to do is just see this. All you got to do is just see this, and you're going to just see the truth. But by the time that happens, it's like you done went through so much, and you didn't have to go down these paths, right? Brandon Tatum had made an interesting point. Even though I'm talking about spiritual warfare tonight, I want to say this. He was saying that some of these parents don't understand that the things that their children are going through is a phase. And so if you start to get your children's breasts cut off, chances are they're going to struggle later on because that phase is going to be over. But I'm telling you, it's bigger than that, because this spiritual warfare is real. So let's go back to this article here. So right now it said that normally at this time, usually involving, a transgender from youth, a child from youth, they want to change their name, they want to change their hairstyle and their clothes. I don't know if y'all saw Jennifer Lopez's daughter recently come out. She didn't come out herself, but her mom, Jennifer Lopez, she invited her out on the stage, and she used the pronouns of them and they. She didn't call her her. She didn't call her by her name. And when she actually appeared on the screen, she didn't look like a girl. She looked like a boy. She was dressed in boy clothes. She had her hair cut short. So I believe that her daughter is possibly experiencing or going through this phase where she believes that she is a boy. Jennifer Lopez is supporting that. So this article says at 13, Zoe had at 13, Zoe, she now has a hard time recalling what life was like before her transition, but her identification as a child started much earlier. This article, when I read this, it made it seem like she was in a better place, and she forgot the struggles that she had when she was a boy, because now she has ended up being what she wanted to be based off of how she felt. I told you all, I think last week, that gender is no longer the sex like it was for us growing up. Gender reveals are going to be very limited now, because gender is no longer considered male or female. Gender is a feeling on the inside. This is where the world is taking this gender movement. So it says Zoe was 4 when she first asked for a dress. Her mom, Carolyn McGregor, remembers agreeing hesitantly, but didn't promise to buy one right away. It was the 3rd time she asked when I thought I really need to put this off. I really need not to put this off. This is what her mom said. So Ian, as a boy, came to his mom and said, I want a dress. His mom, was on the fence, didn't really want to answer it, but the 3rd time Ian came to her, She said, I really shouldn't put this off. So what does the mom do? The next day, the two went to a store and picked out a few dresses. A few. Not one. A few. Zoe put one on as soon as she got home. Within a few minutes, a sitter arrived to watch Zoe and her younger sister. Before Carolyn knew it, the mom, her two kids, and the sitter headed out the doors to a park. Zoe was still wearing the dress. At that moment, Mom realized it wasn't just for dress up. She wanted a dress as part of her clothing. Looking back, she adds, it was something Zoe quickly integrated into her everyday life. It wasn't, I'm going to go play dress up. I never felt like it was something that was just a role. This is what Zoe mom Ian is saying. So today, Zoe is an otherwise typical 8th grader. The teen loves to read and she plays percussion. At school, her favorite subject is art. She enjoys an after-school club where she plays the popular video game Minecraft. Outspoken and confident, she says it's important that people understand that being transgender isn't really a choice. Instead, she explains, it's more like a realization that you are the different gender. I told you all, God doesn't make mistakes. When I say that, I'm being as honest as I possibly can. God does not make mistakes. If He created you as a female, He has a purpose for you to be a female. What happens is, there could possibly be a spirit that is assigned to you as a child to come in and make you feel like you are the opposite sex. Like, I kid you not. I know a female who God revealed that there was a lesbian curse placed upon her life years ago, or before the womb. One of them. Yeah, before she was even born. Something like that. But God revealed that it was a lesbian curse. The person didn't want to be a lesbian. I don't even think she acted out as a lesbian. But she kept being attacked in her sleep by females. Like, it was like she would say a female visited her somehow in her sleep. And she was drawn to that female. So it was trying to stir things up inside of her to make her feel like she wasn't sure if she wanted to be with a woman or a man, because that lesbian curse was activated. The girl had no clue. All she knew was she was drawn to women. Never really acted out. So this stuff is real. And the enemy comes, he is called the accuser of the brethren. I have heard in deliverance that there was a female that had a male spirit that talked like when that male spirit came up, the voice changed into a man. Do you think that that man's spirit possibly was drawn to a woman? So therefore that man's spirit that was inside of a woman's vessel looked like made the female vessel look like she liked men, when the real core of her did not. The real core of her loved the Lord. The real core of her real personality wanted to live right before the Lord. But all of these spirits, whether they have generational curses, whether they have oppression and the enemy comes in after birth for whatever reason, all of these spirits are to keep a person bound by them not learning the truth. This is why I'm telling y'all, some of this stuff is real. if these people who are struggling in their gender, if sometimes it don't take counseling. Some people say, oh, some of the church don't even believe in casting out spirits. Some people say, oh, you need to be counseled so you can be healed. No, that's true, but no, that's not the full picture. You need these spirits to be casted out. And God in his glory will shine the glory light on those spirits, and those spirits will become really nervous. And they will fight, and they will act like they don't have to go. But I'm telling you, the power, the anointing, the Spirit of God draws them out. And I'm telling y'all, when you are done with the deliverance, you feel so much lighter. You can think. Oh my goodness, when you thought that you didn't have the right mind and you couldn't answer a simple question, now that you're set free, you're like, oh yeah, you got the common sense that God gave you. The enemy plays all through a person's vessel. Do y'all know that the enemy also brings infirmity? He brings a lot of pain in a person's body. He does a lot, and people think that this stuff is not real. Oh, yes, it is. Some people hear his voice just as clear as day because the voice is coming in from the inside. And these people still love the Lord. I want y'all to understand this. There is no condemnation. But I really believe that this transgender movement, they are fighting a spiritual warfare or a spiritual battle more than you think. Some people will look at them and say they have a mental health issue. Guess what? There is a mental health spirit. A mentally ill spirit. I said that wrong. A mentally ill spirit that will make it look like you have no mind whatsoever. Like you're drawn to bizarre things. I'm telling y'all, it's real. Once that mentally ill spirit is casted out, you start to feed yourself the word and you're like, oh, wow, I never knew this, because this stuff stays. This stuff is inserted inside of you. He comes to oppress the inside of your body, and it takes life. So any spirit that is fully taking over your will, your emotions, your soul, all that stuff, it can be used to act out. So if let me just say this, if I was just to break it down to you, and I'm gonna let y'all go. If I was struggling with a spirit, I'm going to say, what should I say? I'll just use me as an example. If I had a male spirit on the inside of me, that male spirit can come up anytime. Now, the male spirit knows that it is supposed to be attracted to a female. So that male spirit can take over my vessel, my eyes, my mind, my body, to try to talk to a female. But on the outside, I am female. I'm female. But this spirit is being used whenever he wants to be, whenever he wants to come up. Spirit or altar, y'all, it's so much. It's so much, and I don't want to confuse y'all, because some people have spirits, some people have fragments, some people have interjects, some people have soul invaders. Souls, other souls invade your vessel. Like, this is serious. I believe that this is the war on the gender. 9 times out of 10, this is what they're facing. So think about this. I believe this is what happened to Ian. Ian was a boy. He felt like he was a girl. He was drawn to girl stuff. In my opinion, it's possible that he has a female spirit on the inside of him that wants to be shown. So we'll talk more about the war on gender next week, and y'all just think about it. It is from a spiritual warfare or spiritual battle. in many cases. So don't disregard that. Don't disregard that. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'll see y'all soon. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching Daughters of the King. We appreciate your support. You can reach me at www.dotking.org. That's www.dotking.org. You can subscribe or send a message through live chat, or you can send an email to Kathryn, Kathryn, at dotking.org. This ministry is designed to speak to your heart. Feel free to share your thoughts about the message or give insight on a topic that you would like for me to discuss. We are here for you.